Hi there, welcome to the weekly Bitcoin Wyckoff session again. So is Bitcoin set up for another like all-time high, or is it a trap? Um, I guess that's the question for a lot of people, especially after the past few days. So um, during the middle of the week, I put up a post saying, like, during last week's session, I've drawn this blue line, as you can see, um, and then what I said was, like, if the candle closes below the blue line, be careful the next price moves of Bitcoin. So basically the uptrend has been broken, and then eventually over the past few days, as we can see over here, Bitcoin continued to drop to the current level, only getting a rebound till now today. A little bit of green over here, but the volume is really low compared to the previous 4 days. This is expected, I would say, because you can see the price over here is actually touching the top edge of the pink box. This is where the short-term playground zone is. Before getting into further details, these sessions are not financial advice, they're for education and research purpose only, as you already know, but I have to say it anyway. Back to the weekly chart. So here, all these blue tags are the Wyckoff stages. The yellow ones is less likely scenario that I've put in there for months already. I'm still tracking it to see whether that would be the case, but I did make some updates. This automatic reaction and the UT over here, I basically adjusted. Previously they were a little bit further to the left, but given the upthrust of the distribution in the blue scenario happened, or the recent price moves over the past 6-7 weeks, I have updated this as well, naming it as upthrust, and then adjusted the automatic reaction to this point, this low point over here. But the yellow tags are not the main point, so let's focus on the blue ones. So what after UTAD? Well, if Wyckoff's method still hold true and we're putting these blue tags correct, then we would all expect that the price would eventually come down, right? But it's not as straightforward or as easy as such, right? Reason being, there can be rebound, and this is not the ultimate high point for UTAD. So the current one over here, around 112k roughly, wasn't the highest. It can be just, I mean, this yellow, this red candle is only an adjustment. There are a few things we have to look at. So these volumes compared to when the price climbed to the buying climax, blue one over here, these high or tall bars all along, even these shorter ones are taller than this time. You can see, right? The real long bars are double the size of these ones. So that's buying climax. When we move to upthrust, this blue one over here, again, these are much higher than what we've seen over the past 6-7 weeks, even these shorter ones as well. So from a volume perspective, it seems like the run is losing steam, so be careful what the adjustment or how deep the adjustment would be, given it's only taking a pause at this green support line that it's extended from the upthrust. So that's the peak of the upthrust now becoming the support of this UTAD. If we have to take some reference, we can look at the other cryptocurrencies. Ethereum doesn't have a UTAD, likewise for Ripple. Solana is still current cycle, so even though it has a UTAD, but we want to use something from the past. I don't want to take reference from the current cycle because it's still evolving. Although the altcoins are pretty much like a bit ahead of Bitcoin, let's put it this way, in terms of like retreat of prices. So when we look at Cardano, in 2021-22, there was an upwards of the distribution, and after also like 6-7 weeks of price surge, it eventually comes down. Like after setting the all-time high, there was no like green red candles taking turns and then setting another all-time high. It finished right here, right after the all-time high that's been set. Similar story for Chainlink, same period, 2021-2022. Once again, after the all-time high, immediately 2 consecutive weeks it came down. And I think Stellar, same story, multiple weeks reaching UTAD, again lower volume than PSY to BC period, more or less same as the UT climb. And also Hedera also had its UTAD during 2021-22 cycle, and it wasn't even like the all-time high. So the candle closed higher than the upthrust, but if we look at the wicks, the all-time high at upthrust was actually way higher than almost, let's say, 20% higher than the upthrust top. But anyway, we look at the candles, and also if you change it to line chart, you can see the peak was actually higher. I mean the peak where the candle closes, not the actual price peak. Okay, so by referencing these, if this is really a UTAD, these red candles will continue to show up for Bitcoin. So it was like that for Bitcoin in 2021-22 cycle, but that wasn't, there wasn't an upwards of the distribution. Currently we do have one, we're seeing one. So be like, I want to say, just follow closely how this is going to evolve, especially in the weekly chart. So if the patterns repeat, then what we would see are like red candles one after another. It can happen in a way somewhat like this one, with multiple reds and then taking a pause, a green cross over there, and then continue with the red candles again. It depends on how deep the candle can drop, something like this one. If there are multiple of these, in a matter of like a month or 6 weeks, the price of Bitcoin can drop to the purple line level. The purple line is extended from the automatic response in the blue scenario. Also, it's coincidentally around the level of the last buying climax, last distribution cycle in 2021. So it'll be interesting to see whether that will be the case for Bitcoin. If it does drop to the purple line, it's even deeper than like early April, where it dropped to 75k. So that's the big picture for Bitcoin. And then if we look at the daily chart as well, so the blue line, I've already mentioned about it in the beginning, and currently the price, like I said, is taking a pause over here. So basically everybody's taking a break, especially this weekend now. So this pink box provided a little bit of support. that's also a place where prior to this price surge on May 18th, exactly 2 weeks ago, there were a lot of change of hands over here. So it's understandable there may be some people buying at this level, though if there, or I mean the price has to go further up. Look at these volumes. We need to see these volumes in order for these for the price to go further. If like these continue, then it means the strength of selling is getting stronger than the buying. So be careful. These set of red volume bars, it's double the height of these green ones. So it may be signaling the demand of the market is waning. So that's probably something worth taking note of. And I've already mentioned about this green line, so that's where like a stronger support would be. So currently this is the first support. Next one can be this one, but this isn't like very strong. This could provide a little bit of support as well. So basically the lines, the pink lines you see on the screen, and then eventually it will be a big gap from 92,000 to 75,000. It happened very quickly in just a matter of 3-4 days during February. It bounced back to mid 90k, but like very quickly again in a matter of like 5-6 days it came down one more time. So this may repeat if the price or the bulls can't got this level. Once it comes down to the bottom edge of the pink box, the scenario between March to and April, it's likely going to let us witness again. So let's see whether that would be the case, and whether there will be new demand coming in. As I said in last week's session, there are some key events coming, like the G7 summit and all that, that's going to impact the price or the speculative mood or emotions of people. So that's all for Bitcoin for now. I'll move on to the other crypto.